Hi guys, it is time for Wrestle Talk with Andy N and
Wrestle Talk. This is Wrestle-Up with Dray Zera. Oh no! What's happening to me? Oh no! Oh no! The pain! Oh, what's happening to me? Oh no! My body is reacting. My body's reacting to something. Oh no! Oh, the pain!
I've killed off the co-host. Sorry, guys.
Oops. Oh, the pain! Oh, the misery!
Put your hands up. Sorry, guys, about that. I think my co-host is dead on the floor now. So I might be doing this one by myself today. Oh, hang on. There's something going on in the background here. I don't. There could be something.
Moonlight Army. Dray Zera is here. We apologize for the interruption of that has-been of an unmasked oath. The main event of this show, the Wrestle-Up podcast, is ready to light up.
If I was wondering, I was watching Wrestle Talk before. That's why it's in the back of my head. Anyway, how are you today, Dray, then? And what have you done with that Umor?
That Umor has disappeared like an Oompa Loompa because we, at Wrestle-Up, we have a star performance today. We do not have B+ lasagnas. We have only got A star macaroni.
Do apologise today as well, guys. We don't have any Paul McManara with us today as well because Paul's busy with his studies at the moment. So I hope you enjoyed it last night, Paul, and hope you and everyone else enjoy what we're going to talk about today. So, right, Dray, what are we talking about today?
Sorry, I was just teasing you. Well,
teasing you, yeah.
Well, let me tell you, we are talking about the AEW 1-year anniversary. We're going to break it down segment by segment, but let me also tell you, I am sure that myself and Andy will talk about AEW 1 year on.
Yeah. Look, first of all, Dray, I've got to bring one before we go into it. Can you believe as the year's gone by? It's gone really, really quick, hasn't it, really? Like it was, I was incredible. Shocked when I realised, yeah. It's like it's just flown by.
It's like it's flown by. It's flown by quicker than the eagle. I mean, it only felt like yesterday that John Cena was relevant, but you know, now we're in 2020, and now we have had new stars, new championships. We have had countless memories, countless violence, and episode 8 of the podcast Better Than Wrestle Talk. Wrestle-Up!
I'll remember that for next time. Now, what we do have done today, guys and girls, is we've got a breakdown of every single angle and fight from tonight. So what we'll do, we'll break them down one by one. Now, first of all, we had FTR versus Best Friends. Now, what did you think of this one then, Dray? And it was 18 minutes.
Well, them FTR, they are some naughty bastards, I tell you. Doing that naughty thing towards the end, not just with Tully Blanchard interfering, but let me tell you also, using that belt at the end, naughty. I don't know what that will lead to. Well, we do know what it's going to lead to, but in terms of Best Friends, as we'll talk about later, let's just say they're having a feud over an arcade machine. And will the Best Friends be game over, or will they start the next game?
Start or go to the next level, as I would say. Yeah, definitely. So, yeah. Now, I thought it was a good fight, this actually, John, from my side. I don't think it was as good as, well, certainly wasn't as intense as the car park fight, anyway, from a couple of weeks ago. But now it's good. It's very where they're very good at AEW. They take you straight into the action, don't they? They don't mess around and have half an hour talking segments like another organisation we won't name. But yeah, I
remember those days. I remember those days in that other unsaid organisation where the ratings were low. They start the segment, with John Cena just coming on down, talking for 20 minutes. And but then again, we have some very, very strong, steely fans that are big fans of John Cena that love those segments. But jokes aside, I will say that it was good. Just forget the intros. Just get the wrestling done. The match was great. I wouldn't say it was a 5-star match, but it was good. It was a good match, a hot opener, and FTR get that heat. And yes, what did you think of that match, Andy?
I did the same as you. The only thing it started to irritate me a little bit with the FTR having a fantastic team. I really could see a bit of Arn Anderson in, I think it's Dax, and the other one obviously Tully Blanchard. But it felt like to me, was this the 3rd or 4th match in the trot now, where they had a very, very similar finish, didn't they? And I thought to myself, do they need to kind of be looking at varying the finishes a bit more? But again, great fight, great start. And I felt myself, I thought it got onto a really good start, it did. And then I just thought it really was a good fight. But again, yeah, it said when you had Cash Wheel at the end, hitting Chuck with the title belts where the referee was distracted. That's got the pinfall. It was good, but I couldn't say, from what is one of the few fights tonight where I couldn't see him changing the belt, not with those two. And we'll come on to that why later on. Do you agree?
Absolutely. Now, let's talk about that arcade machine. What happened there, Andy?
Yes, well, they had a hint last week, didn't they, that this might happen? Do you remember they started up last week with Mio and obviously Penelope Ford and also, of course, Kit Sabian all playing the arcade machine as the program cut in last week. And they did it again tonight. It was just Penelope Ford and Kit Sabian. You go, where's Miro? And then obviously, like, one of the best friends hit the arcade machine and flattened it. So Penelope Ford then on the back. I wasn't giving spoilers away, but it was Trent. And Penelope Ford then ran round the back, didn't she, to go and get him? And she came out with Miro just after the fight finished. He flattened of Chuck and Trent.
Absolutely. It was an angle of which I believe it was very, very fascinating. Of course, we'll talk about the second match that leads on to what we've just talked about. But yes, I will say, I'll get it off the bat, as I know that Andy loves my system of 5 stars. 3.75.
I'm gonna go for 4. I thought it was a good fight. Not as good as the car park fight, any stretch of 4. But no, it's good.
Absolutely, yes.
Now, okay.
Absolutely.
Now, the next thing, obviously, we're going to talk about this new angle, obviously, between Miro and Kit Sabian, and obviously what's best friends in a moment. But then we had a quick fight afterwards, didn't we? With Miro and Kit Sabian versus Sean Walter, is it? And Lee Johnson.
It's Sean Maluta and Lee Johnson.
Yeah, that lasted for 2 minutes, that one did.
It was a match where Miro did 95% of offense, Kip Sabian did a splash, tagged Miro in, and Miro went, "Game over!" and then put that accolade on, and he rose up to victory, defeating the very powerful Sean Maluta and Lee Johnson.
That's been talking. What do you think to the pairing of these two, first of all, then? Miro and Kip Sabian. I've got mixed feelings.
Well, I say it's a very, very good folly. I feel that Miro has already mattered more than he rode a tank in WrestleMania 32, I believe, in his match against John Cena.
I was wondering tonight why John Cena is constantly getting mentioned. It's my partner who's sat on the other side of the studio here today, expressed interest in John Cena before, so there's going to be plenty of characters like John Cena coming up today. Yeah, but seriously, yeah, I know what you mean, mate. I felt they're just starting to turn the corner with Miro now. And what do you think? How far do you think they can go with him, Dre?
Well, I think he'll go further than the WWE, because let me tell you something. Because AEW seems to be more of a level playing field, because we do not have inept booking. we have a guy in Miro that's who's not pretending to be Russian. He is himself. And he doesn't get to be involved in lame storylines with his fake Russian wife, Lana. But the wife bit was real. But with Bobby Lashley, oh man, oh no,
that
upsets me. But yes, I think that Miro will go straight to the top.
Yeah, it's possible. Very possible. They could take him all the way up there. They could certainly so. And it does make you wonder how long they're going to stretch his story out for Kit Sabian, because obviously he's going to turn on him sooner or later, I expect. But yeah, I agree. Now, what do you reckon?
One day.
What do you reckon to the feud then? Obviously between Miro and Kit Sabian versus Best Friends now. That's obviously coming after this.
The Best Friends are going to get trounced by Miro and Kip Sabian, I feel. But if Best Friends are going to win, Kip Sabian is going to get the fall. Miro ain't going to get pinned.
That's a certain. No, I agree with you completely on that. And will it come up on the pay-per-view next month, this one, or would you reckon they'll build it more slowly?
Well, Full Gear is in a few weeks' time.
4 weeks' time.
Around early mid-November, so they can hold off the match until then.
Yeah, I think so as well. So, okay. And we have to mark the squash match, unfortunately. So, what are you going to grade the squash match then?
I'm going to void my vote. It was not worth voting.
Yeah. NA, not applicable.
NA, not applicable. But I will say that passionate promo at the end, when Kip's like, "How dare you break my arcade machine?" 5 stars.
You've been ironic there, definitely. Okay. Then we're going on. Then after that, there was another angle when you had Lance Archer attacking Jon Moxley out of the arena. Your thoughts?
Well, they really pushed the intensity of this feud. I feel that Mr. Murder Hawk Monster himself, Mr. Archer, man, just wants to kill Moxley, and I'm like, you can't just kill Moxley. You gotta pin the marks, and not just kill him before the match. I feel that this is psychological warfare, but of course, more psychological warfare happened later on the show, which we'll talk about.
Yeah, we will. We'll mention that one later. Yeah, but great. Hey, I think they were playing catch-up last week when they did this one, 30 on what came later on. You think really, obviously, Lance Archer been out of action for 2 weeks. They could do stuff what they could do there, really. So I think it made sense from a good booking perspective to actually really hammer it home tonight. It's going to be an intense fight, which it was. Anyway,
absolutely.
Then we're on now to MJF and Chris Jericho.
This, in my opinion, is the best moment of this show.
Yeah, I like the idea when Jericho challenged him to steak. You think he's going to challenge him to a fight, then he enters a steak dinner.
It's a steak dinner. Steak le whatever, Dubois or whatever, Dubois, I believe. This is going to be perhaps one of the most iconic steak dinners ever in professional wrestling. It is literally going to be inspiring for all those that don't know, who is perhaps listening in the background and perhaps a massive fan of John Cena. What has happened is that
she's gone to the kitchen.
I don't know who you're talking about. Anyway, when MJF came on, talked about he wanted to make a big announcement when Chris Jericho's there, and MJF wanted to join the Inner Circle, but the others are like, nah, fam, no to MJF. We want no Maxwell Jacob Friedman. We want to be free of this bum in their eyes. But then Jericho ain't, hold on, guys. I challenge you to a steak dinner. That line really resonated in me.
Yeah,
Because
it was a
the other
great
day,
line. Really, really great.
the other
line.
day, I looked at 8-ounce steak deals at the local pub online. I looked at some deals that really hit me hard. That steak, and that segment was more than medium rare, I have to say.
A couple of points on it. I've got angles and things I've got to make notes on. I liked at the end of it the stare down between Wardlow and Jake Hager. And I thought that was just a nice little bit at the end of it there. That the two big bodyguards have a stare at each other. I'd like to see them two square up actually. Won't happen at the moment unless turn Jake Hager face or Wardlow face even. But yeah. And what do you reckon?
I think the long-term thing, I believe that Wardlow will eventually turn face because there were murmurs during MJF's failed presidential campaign for the belt. There were murmurs there, but I guess we will see. We will see. And I have to say, if this video gets 1,000 likes, myself and Andy will review the whole steak dinner and nothing but the steak dinner on next week's show. But if not, if we don't get 1,000 likes, you will not get a show next week. So it's up to you to get 1,000 likes.
Ironically, do you know what I'm having for dinner tonight, Dre?
Steak.
Steak and mash. That's why I'm.
Whoa! My goodness. My goodness. Now, the question is, and you can all comment the same answer below. How do you like your steak?
I like mine raw. Nice and well cooked, definitely. So I'm well cooked myself.
Raw, I was going to say, that's an oxymoron. Raw, well cooked, that's the opposite spectrum. What's going on?
I like it well cooked, right? So now.
Well cooked.
Yeah. On this
cooked.
Angle, one thing I want to ask about this one. And obviously with the use of Sammy. So obviously, like, we're covering this now because I forgot to write down when it came up again later on. You had the angle coming up later on between Matt Hardy and we first finding out who attacked him. And they said it was Sammy. And it was like, then he gives Sammy a very deep psychotic, whatever it was, later on. But then him playing the comedy character earlier on. Did that gel well, the two completely different sides to you?
I mean, I didn't think of Sammy as a comedy character in the earlier segment, the segment we're talking about now. I thought of Sammy Guevara as an angry man. How dare MJF give one of the best ever Lee Six, the Spanish guard, 2 sizes too big. Why? 2 sizes too big? That's terrible.
Yeah, no, I agree. It felt a bit out of place to what came along later on to me, but I know. Fair play. So this has got him at a big angle. Hopefully this time then against Matt Hardy, neither of them are going around trying to kill each other this time then. Or more serious actions like that. But I think it'll be more careful fight this time, I reckon. So we're going to try and finish the angle off. So anyway, after that.
This match will be done on a bouncy castle to avoid injuries.
Yeah, probably this time. Yeah, has to be. They've got to be careful with it. So I can't see either of them jumping off 20-foot ladders this time. Anyway, you should hope not.
I feel this will be on Full Gear.
Yeah, it's a Full Gear fight. I think they're trying to wrap it up. So straight away with that. So whether MJF and Jericho are on Full Gear, I'm not sure yet. That could be. I think that's a longer angle. So that could go on to New Year, that one. So
I mean, the week after, they can have dessert.
Ice cream.
Oh my God!
Yeah, ice cream can dinner. Yeah. Right. Okay. We're going to move on now. Back to the wrestling. Now, obviously, next we have the longest fight of the night, which was Cody versus Orange Cassidy. That went on for 20 minutes.
I'm telling you right now. Cody, how dare you take the belt over a true champion of Brody Lee of the Dark Order? Because let's face it, Cody, you are a bad man. You did some heelish tactics over Orange Cassidy because all this man wants is orange juice and the TNT belt, and you are hogging it much like your change of hairstyle. Stick to one hairstyle, buddy, because I have stuck to my hair for a while. Why don't you stick to yours?
I found that a bit odd, actually, yeah, because I thought they were going to carry on with darker hair. It's like they came back out there with his hair gone back, was it blonde again? I thought it was really caught me out, that did.
Man has had that high fade like Dray Zera. This man is copying the franchise of this podcast. How dare he?
Excellent. Now, I'm going to tell you.
But in all seriousness, to that match, you saw after the match, they're rematching in 2 weeks' time because it finished in a time limit draw. Now, I believe this is not only to protect Orange Cassidy, but this is to protect that heinous fiend that is Cody, the crook that took the belt off the Dark Order, Brody Lee. How dare he unexalt him? But here's another question to you. What were your thoughts on the Dark Order attempting to interfere, Andy?
I thought brilliant. I noticed that because I do like John Silver. Is in the Dark Order at the moment. He's probably my favourite one. I think he's really, really good in. I have noticed, obviously, 4 and 5 out of Dark Order. They've been coming to a lot of their matches now with no masks on. We previously had masks on and stuff, didn't they? So it's almost like they're defining the two of them together now.
Well, what it is, I feel it was in the wash, so I guess we'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see.
It made sense. It made sense to me that then to do Dark Order and a cameo. And it said to me as well, in 2 weeks' time, I got the feeling Brody Lee's going to interfere in that fight.
Maybe. My question to you is, what did you think of the match itself? I thought this was a very good match. Yeah, I felt my favourite part of the match was when they had the figure 4 leg lock and they kept reversing it for the next.
Yes.
That was a very good ring psychology. But here is the question to you. Do you think the commentators played Orange Cassidy's lack style of wrestling as to why it finished in a draw? What do you think?
Yeah, I think they did. There was definitely something in that there. I think there was some shit. But yeah, definitely got that as well. Yeah, I think you did right. It was, and I liked the tease. It's almost like they had a tease, didn't they? Was Orange Cassidy going to hit Cody with the belt after Dark Order grabbed it? And I quite liked that. I thought, and then he give the belt to Arn Anderson. And I thought to myself, is that tease? And then in the next fight, is Cody going to turn heel then?
Absolutely.
There
That sounds interesting.
A couple of unanswered questions there was. Here's one to think about for yourself. In 2 weeks' time, obviously these two do the rematch. How would you feel if Cody goes and joins the Dark Order?
I mean,
not an impossibility. It'd be a fascinating turn, that would be.
If Cody joins the Dark Order, I will leave the Dark Order. He's not my leader. But I'll tell you this for real. If he joins the Dark Order, the Nightmare Family looks trash.
Yeah, we'll come on to trash later on with the Nightmare Family when we get to the successes and failures. I've got a few things I'm going to say. Yeah.
What is this trash? What is this trash you talk of? Go on.
Oh no! We'll make our audience wait. Right? It's my successes and failures. I've got a few.
Okay, failures. We'll see. We'll see what happens. We'll see. We'll talk about that in time.
Yeah.
So what happened after the match?
Yeah, well, you got the 20 minute thing, didn't you? Then they announced it to replay in 2 weeks' time. It was almost a bit. It's quite where they timed it at the end of it. It felt very WWE-ish to me, that bit. Probably the only real thing that I did tonight. I thought it might have been a bit too cute, which I'm good at. But again, it was a fantastic fight. Probably my favourite wrestling fight of the night. Not necessarily fight.
Absolutely.
Wrestling fight. I thought there was some fantastic moves in it. And I think Orange Cassidy, mate, I think he's a very, very underrated wrestler. That's why, because he gives it. I like the fact that he knows his character that well, and he can just turn it on when he has to. So, no, it was really good. What are you going to mark this one then? What are you going to mark this one then, Dre? Out of 5.
Oh, the mark. Bear with. Sorry, I was just charging up my destiny. So, my answer to your question is this. This is a 4-star match. I don't want to give it any higher because I felt that I felt that, in my opinion, I think they probably had more in the tank.
Yeah, I do as well. That I wouldn't. I think they could have done it. Knowing them two, that could have easily been an Iron Man fight for an hour, and that wouldn't surprise me if you got that somewhere along the line.
In a 2-hour show, I think that'll be a mad thing. But yes.
Yeah, a pay-per-view possibly. Yeah, I agree with you. I felt there was more to come with that, so I think there could be some more in the future. So yeah, all's good to me, definitely with that. So right, okay, moving straight on then. Next thing we had obviously was the second promo with Lance Archer and John Mox came and attacked him, and I felt that was about an hour and 5 was it? An hour and 10 minutes into the second half. So it probably was a good timing to do that second promo again to build the tension for a bit more, then, wasn't it?
Absolutely, which then led to Tony Khan later on announcing that no DQ, we've had enough, kill each other.
Be damned. Kill each other, be damned. It's not our fault, yeah. I agree. Now, we've already talked about Matt Hardy and Sammy, so we'll move on. What did you reckon to the idea for the lottery for the 14 tournament?
Oh, for the winner getting a shot at the AEW title. Well,
yeah, it was a funny one, that, because I like the idea, but you'd have thought, well, what's the point then behind the rankings then, basically, isn't it? 'Cause it's like,
I mean, I think the rankings, perhaps the wrestlers in question, most of these wrestlers in question have a very good ranking.
Yeah, no, I agree.
And perhaps, and I believe this tournament is to set up. I believe Hangman Page Omega final at Full Gear. This is what I'm thinking.
Yeah. No,
because they're both in separate brackets.
Yeah. No, I'd agree with that one. Yeah. I can see that coming straight away. And it's then, but what did you reckon to the tournament and on the one at the end of it where they had the Lucha Brothers going against each other?
Well,
first round. Now that one's
it'll be a good match.
Yeah,
it'll be a very good match. Looking forward to it. Yeah.
Will they?
Absolutely.
They're going to tease, aren't they? All along with Eddie Kingston on those two. He calls one of them, doesn't he? His brother, and they want a good friend. So is that?
He calls Penta. He calls Penta. He my brother.
Yeah.
And he calls Phoenix. Yay, my friend too. Yeah, my friend. Yeah.
Yeah. There's teaser that those two are going to split, and I think it probably needed. So I think the potential of those two, both those two, should be doing a lot better than what they are possibly AEW. I'd like to say I think it's a good move.
I mean, what the situation is that the tag team division is literally more stacked than my coconut rings I've been eating throughout this podcast, I have to say.
No.
And I feel that, for me, I think that with those two, I think they could be potentially better served as single stars, but I don't want them split as a tag team, but more they could work as single stars.
Yeah, I think so as well. It'll reveal itself in, I think, due course. But of course, then we had the other tournament announced, didn't we, for the lottery, for the 14 tag team to fight FDR. When you had Private Party come out, Sylvan Reynolds from Dark Order, Butcher and the Blade, and the Young Bucks. And what was your opinion on this segment?
Well, I think, this is my honest opinion, I honestly think this is another tease for the Young Bucks versus FTR, but what I think is going to happen is that Private Party is going to win that tag team match, and they're going to face FTR, because I feel that they're going to hold off this match for longer.
It's possible, certainly. I'd like him to do that at box, what Dark Order to him.
Wow. My friend, are seeing the light.
No, it's just I thought he's definitely got a push going for John Silver at the moment. And I noticed Alex Reynolds is getting the same. Private Party, I think, is a good bet to win it, actually. Because Butcher and the Blade aren't going to win it. I can't see it. And I think those two have improved a lot, they have. But yeah, I think the Private Party is a good bet, actually. I think it's a really good bet. Like, when would the next pay-per-view be after November? January next year, is it? February. Would they hold it
I think it's, I believe it will be Revolution in February.
Will they hold off that long? I don't know. Did you
I mean, they have a better chance of holding off than WWE.
Well, WWE. What pay-per-view was it recently? I had Randy Orton over about 3 pay-per-views in the trot.
What was it? Are you talking about Randy Orton versus Drew McIntyre?
Yeah, Drew McIntyre, yeah. That's happened.
You know what the main event of Hell in the Cell is? Randy Orton versus Drew McIntyre.
For the third time. At least with AEW, when they have the long build, because they've got the space during the pay-per-views, I think it helps them a lot of ways build the fights up more. It's like if you're doing one month after month, constantly, you're just repeating fights all the time. And that's
absolutely.
I probably got WWE in that. So no, I agree.
Now we have to talk about the second biggest moment of AEW, where Dr. Britt Baker DMD was with a naked Tony Schiavone.
Oh, I love that. And then what they were doing, all that pulling hairs off Tony's chest, and you can see him jumping. And obviously like clearly hurt him. I saw that. that was really funny.
But getting your chest, let me tell you, gentlemen, as a man that has used to wax the top half of his body, it's absolutely fine. It's absolutely fine. And let me tell you, that's one thing we have in common, Dray Zera and John Cena. 2 exceptional individuals. We have both been waxed.
A friend of mine, you don't know Dray, and Amanda knows him a little bit. I'm not going to name the guy in case he ever tunes into this. The charity about 4 years ago got his full body waxed from, to quote him, from top to bottom. And I'm talking, he had everything waxed, and he couldn't sit down for probably 4 days afterwards.
Wow.
That's why I was thinking of Tony Schiavone when they were waxing his chest, his little bits coming off, he jumped. I thought, yeah, I got my mate told me about that. So yeah, I thought
Have you ever been waxed before?
No, I've not been waxed.
If this video gets 25,000 likes, Andy will go live on air.
I will get Amanda to wax my chest, and we'll do it live on our podcast.
All right. Now, 25,000. That's the top half, isn't it?
I agree.
Amanda said she'd do it. We've got 25,000 likes. She will wax my chest live on Wrestle-Up.
Just the chest, top half. Comment below if you hashtag top half. It'll be live on air. And do not forget, at this time, speaking of promotions, buy my book, Broken Circuit Board, available now on DrayZera.net. Signed copy. It'll arrive quicker than John Cena coming back to WWE.
Right, we better move on now anyway. Okay, on to the next fight. We had Big Swole versus Shida. What did you reckon to this fight?
It was all right. I don't think it was amazing. There was a botch near the start of the match when Shida and Big Swole did a kick up at the same time, but Big Swole did her kick up well, but Hikaru Shida fell like a pack of dominoes. But I will say that the match was good. I'd have to put it 3.5 stars. It wasn't amazing. Well, actually, no, I'll say that again. 3 stars, because the match was inoffensive. At no point did I think that Big Swole was going to win, which is why I'm not going to go put it anywhere near 4 stars.
No way.
And
no way.
Shida wins again, and I think they're building towards Shida versus, well, Vicky Guerrero's latest client.
Yeah, I think so. I think after that, then I think Shida will beat Nyla Rose as well. But I think she could then lose against Britt Baker.
Absolutely.
That's why I thought they're going to want a different champion. So be Britt Baker, they're building it. They seem to protect her really well, even when she's been injured for a while. So
I really want them to really.
Same with you. It was all right fight.
I was going to say they need to push the one and only Dark Order's greatest female wrestler
I think she's really good.
to defeat Hikaru Shida. Yes.
Yeah, she's a possibility. It's interesting to know if you read up on it. She's not got a massive amount of experience. She's relatively raw as a wrestler, but she's got something a lot of the other ones that women don't have. There is the charisma. She's absolutely.
Yep.
Really
Anna Jay.
Yeah.
Anna Jay's charisma matches the great John Cena, in my opinion.
I'm going to bring Amanda on the podcast the last couple of minutes later. She can tell everybody what the joke is in this today, because then a partner sat there and the other side of the study cracking up doing that to John Cena. So we'll do that later. Now, a couple of quick serious points on the Shida Big Swallow fight for me was, I thought like you, it was a solid fight. It was nowhere near as good as the Thunder Rosa fight she had on the pay-per-view recently. The quality just wasn't as good. And did it feel to you like at any point, or did it really feel like a world title fight?
I feel that the fact that there was a lack of build kind of hurt it in a way, because there's no heat on both of them. However, I feel that regardless of the defeat, I feel that Big Swole was better for it. And I guess we will see moving on.
Yeah, that's that point. My marking for it is 2.75. I thought, Paul's not here. I've got to do some mathematical ones. So, right, okay. After that, Eddie Kingston came out and joined commentary, didn't he, with the Lucha Brothers in his background, which I wasn't expecting, but that was nice. That was nice to see. And then we had a promo, didn't we, about Sean Spears talking about his issue with Scorpio Sky, which happened on Late Night Dynamite a few weeks before.
I mean, I'm glad I heard that. I'm glad that Tully Blanchard hasn't forgotten about the chairman, Sean Spears, because it's very interesting to see that Tully Blanchard manages both FTR and Sean Spears, but it seems like, unlike other factions, it seems like they're kind of separate entities.
Yeah, that bit of surprised me, because they've been hinting for a while, haven't they, about the new Four Horsemen. And I was wondering whether they're going to bring those three together with somebody else. Who knows? But they haven't done it yet, have they? So whether this will come after pay-per-view next month, who knows?
I see.
Yeah,
I see.
It does feel like to me that one's going to still be a AEW dark fight more than an actual main Dynamite fight. But they've proven otherwise. They've got some work to do with it, that's for sure. So anyway, moving on. We're on to War now, aren't we? John Moxley versus Lance Archer.
Yeah, Marks, baby! Woo!
Yeah.
Oh, let me just get my plant.
Yeah, no problem.
Big shout out to my pot noodle plant. Thank you to my girlfriend, who is still with me as of recording and got me this months ago. It's grown so much. Is anyone 100,000 likes and I will get another plant?
Your plants will stop breeding, will they? Do it. Right. On the wrestling side of things, of course. Moxley, what did you reckon to the fact when Moxley hit the paradigm shift to start it almost straight from the bell, didn't he? I thought there was no messing around with that. He absolutely clobbered Lance Archer there, he did.
Absolutely. That was a very surprising start of the match, but I knew that match was definitely not going to finish just like that. That would have been a mad thing, but I will say that it was good. It was a very good match. I feel that once again, the question is, has Lance Archer blown it? Because he lost the TNT title to the Roll-Up. He lost the AEW title with the Roll-Up.
Yep, I noticed that again.
Does the man and Jake the Snake Roberts teach this man how to get out of the Roll-Up?
Yeah, it's going to cause some friction to him and Jake Roberts. I think straight away that there has to be behind the scenes, obviously in front of the camera on that. What did you reckon to the bit when Moxley obviously set up a couple of chairs to put Lance Archer through them. And Lance Archer reversed it and threw Moxley straight through the 2 lots of chairs. And I was sat there thinking, that made me squirm, that did.
That was brutal indeed. But you know what? Everybody dies at the end of the day, so, you know.
Oh, yeah.
Now we have to talk about this right here that made me not happy, by the way, but from Mr. AEW, Mr. Tony. This is all Tony Khan's fault. Why did you change the theme tune of Archer? Why?
Yeah,
Why did you have to get rid of the New Japan? Like, is it because that Lance Archer wanted to change? Now, this is remarkable, this is deplorable, and this is why the match rating has dropped from 4 to 3.75 because you ruined the theme, you ruined Christmas, and happy birthday, Tony Khan, for the other day.
What do you reckon to Lance Archer coming out with a new costume once? He was wearing something different. It made him all sort of like a Nazi stormtrooper or something. It was all the big hat he had.
Well, I mean, a Nazi stormtrooper is a very fascinating phrase, but I will say that I liked his hair. I feel, yeah, it did look very crazy, but I guess we will see what happens to Lance Archer in the future weeks. It's definitely crazy. What did you think of the match overall? Did you think the match was?
I really enjoyed it. I'm going to give it the same mark as you again. There's a couple of things I want to mention on it. I thought was at the end of it when they obviously the Lucha Brothers came out and attacked obviously Moxley, and then they whacked Archer first, and Archer didn't go down. He just turned and looked at him, and I thought to myself for a second, shit, they're going to turn Lance Archer facing it. I thought they were literally going to do that for a second then. But then obviously Jake Roberts got in the way and got him out there, and then obviously I saw it coming. Obviously, like I said, with the Kingston doing the promo then. They turned it on him right at the end of it. I thought, yeah, the turn was coming straight away for that promo. But I think it could be a good duel.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely a good duel.
Absolutely. Well, I'll say this right now. I feel that it was a good match, and I'm looking forward to the new feud for Moxley. I think that feud is going to be promo central.
Yes, I do as well. I felt with it, like you said before about Orange Cassidy and Cody. I felt there was more that could have done between those two. Then that could have been a longer fight. When the pay-per-view,
I feel so.
A bit longer.
I feel though. My opinion. In my opinion, speaking about the TNT title, we kind of brushed over it. It feels like a certain gentleman was looking up in the rafters in the most highest row looking at the match, didn't he?
Yes, he did, Darby. I think he's going to... I think whoever holds that belt by the time he gets to the pay-per-view, I think he's got the belt. I think they'll go with Darby.
Absolutely.
I think it's time.
It's definitely time. It is definitely time. And yeah. Now, the question is, though, we all have to ask is, will John Cena ever go to AEW?
Who knows? Well, he's busy at the moment, isn't he, with the Fast and Furious 9 at the moment, is still filming and the post-production.
Well, to be honest, we'll talk about this with the panel, potentially with a steely individual. But anywho, yeah. So, what did you think of the show overall?
Yeah, I enjoyed it. It was a TV show. It wasn't a pay-per-view. I think when the pay-per-view was a couple, you could tell more into it. It was a good show. I came at the end of it. I was knackered because I felt it was a really good rush. It was. The show gets as a spectacle 4 out of 5 to me. I enjoyed it. It was a TV show, not a pay-per-view. That is always a difference sometimes. But they felt they'd had a couple of shows where they did placeholders building for this TV show as a spectacle.
Just like last week's episode wasn't as good as this week, or they were leading it on.
Yeah.
But yes, it seems that it honestly feels like next week feels like the start of new things happening.
Yeah, I do as well. And that way, they gives themselves 4 weeks to build for the pay-per-view then. This was like a TV pay-per-view to me, or ending a few feuds and building towards the next one. Yeah, no, it works really well. Really, I thought generally it was well wrote, and I thought the structure was right. And that's why I really enjoyed it. Really, really enjoyed it. So, no complaints. So, what are you going to give the show out of 5 then?
I'm gonna stick with you. 4 out of 5.
Yeah, a good show. Now, obviously, now to round up the show, we're gonna when we get our missing colleague together to complete the panel, we'll do a full review episode next couple of weeks, and on our first year of AEW. Well, I've made 5 things I thought have been big successes for AEW, and 5 things, not to say failures, I've been disappointed in. So I'm going to go through mine.
You can call them failures. Or things to improve on.
Things to improve on. Okay. Okay. What do you reckon? I'll let you ask you. What do you reckon my major success story is on AEW? What, in my opinion, is the first one?
Tag team wrestling.
Yes, well, a specific tag team. I'm thinking of FTR. I think FTR have come in and they've really hit the ground running as a team, and that they have. And considering how mismanaged they were under another name over in WWE, they've come in and I felt myself, they've added an intensity to the tag team name. It seemed to change the focus around a bit more, made the matches a bit more varied. I put them in a good team, really good team. And I think Tully Blanchard,
absolutely,
he's done a really good job with them.
Oh no! What's happened to my heart? Oh no! Oh my God!
I'm wondering, Amanda's giggling in the background. I think I've just killed Dray Zera off now, so I can back it down to me again in a minute, just doing this podcast.
Oh, what's happening to me? Oh,
bang, bang.
Oh, hello, hi.
Hey, Umor. Well, have you got rid of that pesky Dray Zera now, have you?
I don't know what happened, but the last thing I remembered was I was drinking a cup of tea and I kept dreaming about John Cena, and now I'm here. Man.
Right, Umor. I'll ask you then, obviously, since that Dray Zera has done a run, he's obviously uncommittable. I've just been to mentioning a minute ago that what I thought my big success stories were for AEW. I mentioned FTR, my favourite. What do you reckon to Orange Cassidy being a success story for them?
I think my honest opinion about Orange Cassidy is that I think with Orange, I think that what's happened with him is when they had him, they felt that he was just going to be, decent wrestler. He wasn't going to amount to much, but then he just caught so much fire that they had to push him. They had to push him to the next level. That match against Pac, way back, I believe it was Full Gear last year.
Yeah.
That was his first proper match. People were like, wow, this guy could wrestle, which was incredible.
Yeah, it was. I can remember one bit in that fight when he was messing around a lot, and you could see Pac, they obviously improvised it. Pac was stood outside the ring thinking, I don't believe this, smiling to himself like that. Obviously getting rid of the heel heat for a second when getting back to it. Yeah, completely. I've also really enjoyed the success story, Lance Archer with Jake Roberts. I've really enjoyed Lance Archer's work.
I think Jake Roberts has completely showed people why he was one of the greatest talkers in the late 80s and early 90s. Now, obviously, I just about remember Jake the Snake Roberts when I was a little kid, but of course, Andy, as you
well, I was in my teens, late teens.
Are more knowledgeable than me in wrestling.
I don't know about that.
Obviously, you remember Jake the Snake's promos back then. He hasn't skipped a beat when it comes to promos.
No, he hasn't. He hasn't. And respect to the guy, and it's what I've got a lot of love for Jake the Snake Roberts on, is the fact the way he went downhill when he got drink and drug problems. But in fact, he's pulled himself back up now, obviously down with Dallas Page, hasn't he? And he's been a great combo they have. I've also really enjoyed Cody's character as well for AEW as well. I feel like he really carries himself like a major star.
He does carry himself like a star. When you got great theme music, when you have like a big posse behind you, when you have the second hottest woman in AEW right there.
Yeah, and I'll come on to her in a minute because I've got a few things to say about Candice, and it doesn't include about her hotness as a woman either.
If this video gets 300,000 likes, I don't know why I'm saying this. It sounds like someone else said this, and then I feel that Andy N will call out Cody Rhodes.
Oh yeah, no, definitely. And Amanda scratched my eyes out. No, seriously, no, but the one thing I think they've done really well with, this is my 5th one, and probably my most major improvement they've done is with the Dark Order. Because I feel like when they did that beatdown with the Creepers at the end of last year on the Elite, they took that much criticism over it. And the fact they managed to bring in obviously Brody Lee was in March. And I think he's not everyone likes him, but I think he's done a really good job. There's something turned around. Whether it's the fact they brought Anna Jay in as well, and she just looks like a star. She does. It's turned it round. They've made him a much more believable actor, I think.
Absolutely.
That's why.
Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, I think what's happened are 3 things happened. Brody Lee made them a lot more serious. They have actually built a faction instead of having a random faceless people like Retribution. I'm sorry, they've made themselves look a serious proposition.
Yeah. What else they can do with them? Who knows? We'll reveal in time to come. But he's done a good job with them there. Somebody managed to turn it around really well. Has there been on your side, Uma, any major success stories in AEW? Anything that's really impressed you what they've done over the past year or so?
Well, I think the thing is that one of the biggest success stories in wrestling in North America, in actually like big time North American wrestling, is this candid idea that, you know, in a wrestling show, there should be lots of wrestling. Oh my God.
No,
and matches that actually don't finish in a disqualification finish, or matches that last longer than 3 minutes.
Yeah. No.
Wow.
I know
that is incredible.
Changed the mentality with that, and it's worked really well. I agree, and that's been, I think, the big difference between them and AEW. So we watched them like last night. You had an 18-minute fight, didn't you? Obviously, we're at the beginning of the fight between FDR and Best Friends. 20 minutes, Cody. Obviously, an Orange casting. Then 10 minutes the women's one, and then 11 minutes of Moxley and Archer. What's that about? An hour? It's about 80 minutes, basically, isn't it? Mm-hmm. Yeah, true.
Absolutely.
Is there anything else you thought they've done really well with in the past year then?
Repeat that again, sorry?
Is there anything else you think they've done really well with in the past year or so before we get into my disappointments or failures?
I would say I think the idea of general wrestling booking has been excellent, building up stars, but also factions. Wow, factions actually work. Like they actually like have a purpose, and all of them got to do their own separate things. It's incredible. Yeah, I have to say.
No, I agree. The booking's been a lot better for me with it, because I think they've just tried to keep the movement going in the show. And it's like you get AEW, WWE, and you have Raw in 3 hours and the first 50 minutes is Shane McMahon coming out and talking, and it just rambling on and on and on. It got to a stage where my dad watched it more than I did. He stopped watching it about 5 years ago. Because he basically was watching it the day after Raw, and he was skipping for it in 15 minutes because he just fed up all the talking. He watched season wrestling.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
that's why. So, okay. Do you want to go into disappointments now, or failures?
Well, start on the disappointments, my friend.
Okay, Brandy Rhodes.
Okay, go ahead.
I've been a bit disappointed with her. The fact is, they just don't seem to know what they're doing with her. Where you started her off with the Nightmare Collective, didn't they?
And that didn't last long.
No, it didn't last long. Now she's been with the Nightmare Sisters Valley. That looks like that's quietly been dropped now. and she's looks like she's connecting with I forgot the girl's name. One of the girls in AEW Dark, and I forgot her name. Oh heck! It seems like they're changing the character all the time for her, and I find it a bit uneven because she got that little Bram doll, and it's the way she does that seems to operate like it's heel heat, but then she's going in the feud of Anna Jay, and Anna Jay is meant to be one of the bad girls. So I just find it very, very confusing with her so far. And I'm not 100% sure if she's much of a wrestler anyway, truth be told. But again, that's just an opinion. So what do you think on that?
I mean, Brandy is not the best wrestler. I think that she's not really that good, but she serves a purpose. I feel that in the long run, I don't want to see her much in the ring. No. I think even her tag partner is a better wrestler than her, and I don't really rate her that highly. No, that's just my opinion.
No, again, that's the second disappointment because they brought her in with the Butcher and the Blade as the bunny, and they never seemed to. That's
like saying, are you 100% true? Because that's like saying that I'm Dray Zera. So who do we know for real? Her bunny is Abby.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, it's true. It could be split personalities, but I felt with Ali herself like they obviously had the storyline of her, didn't they, from QT Marshall, and that seems to suddenly drifted away, doesn't it?
Yeah.
I'm not quite sure what's going on with that. So, God, there was a hint a couple of weeks ago that Blade was getting told Eddie Kingston to go get his house in order. And you were wondering whether that meant if he didn't be interacting with his real life wife in the storyline again. But again, that's not seemed to happen yet. So I don't know what's going on there at the moment. So, but I've not really been the third one, so I've got 5. I think Miro seems to be built up very slowly at the moment. I know we seem to have been in it about a month, hasn't it?
Slowly?
Yeah.
This has only just begun. Like, what is this? What, do you expect him to suddenly be like, I don't know, Miro appears. He's going to go immediately for the AEW title.
No, I don't know. I'm not fully convinced with the story with Kip Sabian, that's all. I'm not sure whether that's a suitable...
See, I have a soft spot for Kip Sabian. I mean, I know I've hung out with Kip Sabian personally, as I've said before. Yeah. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. So I'm just telling you my feelings towards my brother here. Like, I'll tell you something funny. So it was WrestleMania 30. It was WrestleMania 32, I think, and it was and oh my God, John Cena fan went in the background. Anyway. Anyway, what I was just saying is, I believe that it was, he wrestled in Ipswich, and after the event, there was a WrestleMania after party, and watching WrestleMania. And what happened was, Kip Sabian having a nice vegan pizza, just chilling next to me. Because he was wrestling in that same show, I watched him for this promotion, and I talked to him a bit, and it was a mad thing.
No, don't doubt it. I've just not been fully convinced with the chemistry between these two. It might be.
I mean, I guess we will see. I'd rather have Kip Sabian than Lana.
Lana, yeah.
As much as I, you know what I mean? But
Yeah, no, that's fair enough. No, that's completely agreed. Oh, blam you. Considering what they're doing with Lana at the moment in WWE, I can see her leaving there soon. And let's see if she then follows him to AEW, and that's a fair point. How do you feel about so far then what they've done with Kenny Omega?
Just wait till next week. Well, here's the thing: Kenny Omega is a selfless guy. He knows he's one of the greatest wrestlers in history. What he did is he sacrificed himself to make AEW a better product.
Yeah, I think so as well. I think I think people were expecting him to come in and set the place on fire, and he hasn't done. He took his time with it. And I'm disappointed with that, but I think he's going to build it up because it looks like they're building something for him. So I saw him as the cleaner New Japan, and it was amazing, and that it was.
Yeah.
I'm hoping they'll do something similar to that, because then I'll be happy seeing him as champion. That's all. So, but again, I think I'm hopeful on that one. Saving me, I think they'll pick up both those two. So,
Yeah.
the only thing I've got a little disappointed, I find it a bit cloudy in places, and it's not against the wrestler. It's more the angle with Brian Cage with the FTW belt. I found that one a bit confusing in places. Whether it's an official belt,
bro, yo, you were around when the FTW belt was around.
I know. Yeah, I know. But I'm looking at the back and looking for people now. I've looked at the presentation of it, because back in the late 90s, it was part of it, obviously part of this organisation run by Paul Heyman, shall we say? But I just found this had been a bit muddled. Like, whether Taz has presented this. It's nothing against Brian Cage. I think Brian Cage and Ricky Starks have been phenomenal, and I think Ricky Starks has been absolutely exceptional on the announcers booth. Have you been watching Dark movie much recently?
I've watched some Dark. You're a much more bigger proponent of AEW Dark than me, but
I know it's only got.
I think
I watch it at work.
AEW Dark overall has been a great idea, because it's free to watch on YouTube.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, watch whenever, and obviously seeing some of the rising stars of the next generation of stars, you know?
Yeah, completely. I watch them. I tend to watch it when I'm at home working. When I'm working at home 1 week, I'll have the episode on the previous week on the Monday, and the Wednesday I do one on. There's a bit of background noise. It's good. It's good. But Ricky Starks has been absolutely phenomenal on commentary. There's been a couple of them where they're having fights where you can actually see him. I've forgotten what it was now. It's going to bug me now. Where you can actually see the two wrestlers having an absolute corker of a fight in Dark, and they do a proper bump on each other. And you see his jaw drop down in absolute shock, thinking, ouch! He's been brilliant. And Cage has been really good anyway. So I think Brian Cage has been really. Cage knows what he's doing, mind you. No, it's been good. Been a really good first year for me. So people are wondering with disappointments and stuff. All these can be got round. They're only minor things. It's a much better show and an easier show to watch than Raw and SmackDown. Do you watch?
Oh yeah, 100%. Like,
yeah.
I don't watch that. I haven't watched a full episode of WWE Raw or SmackDown in a long time, at least 2-3 years. What I've done instead is I just sometimes watch a couple of wrestling clips here and there, because it's one of those where I'm like, I want to see how ridiculous. I like comedy. I enjoy. I want to watch something that'll make me laugh. Like when you have Dominik Dijakovic rebranded as T-Bar, it's just like, oh no. T and Slapjack, aka Shameful. Slapjack.
Absolute.
And you know the funniest thing is, I'll tell you something funny. The funniest thing is basically T-Bar. So when Brian Alvarez posts the ratings for NXT and AEW, I'll tell you something funny, right? T-Bar actually quote tweeted and went, T-Bar 1.6. T-Bar just said, he's like basically quoting Raw's ratings, like, no, it's not. It's because of me, T-Bar.
Oh, it just makes you squirm, honestly, goodness. But personally with AEW, and I think you agree with this, but used to watch Raw and SmackDown. I used to watch a lot with my dad growing up, and we used to watch it in video. I used to watch them, the old Monday Night Wars. We watched them on Friday night.
Yeah.
And what we used to do was, if one of the programs got rubbish, we used to flick over to a channel for a bit.
Yeah.
We kept flicking and changing. But I found with AEW, and I've not watched much of NXT. Do you watch NXT much?
I mean,
to
be honest, since last year, I cancelled my WWE network.
Oh, did you?
I don't like NXT ever since they moved to the USA network in America. It's literally have become trash. Like, I mean, the best thing about NXT is Shotzi Blackheart's hair. I love her hair. But other than that, it's nothing. Like, I'll tell you this, and I hope the John Cena fans are listening to this. Even John Cena can't save NXT at this point.
Yeah, no, I agree. And they're going to end up moving it sooner or later, that one. So, right, guys and girls, before we finish, we better bring our special guest in, Umor, haven't we? And let people know why John Cena's in making loads of cameos here. Right, this is my partner, Amanda, everybody. And
hello.
Now, Amanda, just tell everybody. We better let all our viewers know what's been going on here today, haven't we, with these John Cena guys?
Yeah, I don't remember how it started. It was the Comics Unity podcast, wasn't it? I think.
Yeah. It
And
wasn't.
somebody brought it up, and I just mentioned that John Cena's nice to look at, and I've had something taken out of me ever since.
Yeah. Now, would we do that to Amanda?
Dray Zera probably, but not me.
Well, thank you, Amanda. Okay, let you go back to your work now. Okay. See you later.
Oh, hold on. You can't just bring her in after 1 minute. Welcome back, Amanda, to the Wrestle-Up podcast. So tell me, Amanda, one very, very important question. This is one very important question I'll ask you. Where do you think wrestling will be in 10 years' time?
I have no idea.
Minus John Cena.
I'll be wrestling with Kiefer Sutherland if Andy allows it.
Oh. Kiefer Sutherland will be 63 in 10 years. It'll be mad thing.
Well, I'll be in my 50s. So.
Well, guys, if this video gets 1 million likes, I will get Kiefer Sutherland to message Amanda with my contacts within contacts.
We'll bring you on, Kiefer, as a special guest to talk about wrestling. So, hashtag.
If we get 1 million likes, to put things in perspective, only less than 1% of videos on YouTube gets 1 million likes. So let's just get this going.
Yeah.
Get the
Kiefer Sutherland to wrestle.
Of hashtag Sutherland Steel. Hashtag that. Hashtag Sutherland Steel.
Right, guys and girls. Seriously, that's it today. Now we should be back shortly, Umor, in a few weeks' time. For I don't know if we're going to do a preview yet, or an after show. We shall keep you informed. Thank you today, Amanda, for the cameo.
Okay.
And so, Umor, do you want to thank that dastardly Dray Zera where he's hiding for us as well?
Where is he? Hold on. Where is he? Hold on. I don't know where he's gone. Oh.
No, this is the second heart attack he's had tonight, isn't it?
And the Oscar goes too.
What's happening? Oh no, you can't see me. Ah. Oh my God, 5-knuckle shuffle. Oh my God. Oh, the humanity. Oh my God. I have risen from the dead.
You are back, are you, Dray?
Zera, rise again.
Second time today. Right, Dray Zera. Well, unfortunately, that dastardly Umor has dragged you away today, so we're going to have to, fortunately, conclude things shortly. So, is there anything you want to say to everybody before we conclude today?
Well, Moonlight Army, if you enjoyed this podcast, don't forget to leave a like on this video, because we've got a hell of a lot of like goals to hit. And if we hit any of those like goals, then not only that Andy at this point might buy a new house, but yes, tune in next time for another episode of Wrestle-Up.
Stay safe, guys. Say bye, Amanda. See you all soon.